The people we chase hardest are often the ones running from themselves. This isn't a story about rejection or heartbreak. It's about why attraction sometimes feels like hypnosis, why the mind clings to people who drain it, and why walking away can feel like losing oxygen. There's a deeper algorithm behind this pull, one that's written not by love, but by psychology itself. Stay until the end, and you'll see why control in attraction doesn't come from chasing or withdrawing, but from learning how desire quietly reprograms your nervous system. I'm not here to tell you what to feel. I'm here to help you see the patterns you've been breathing in without noticing. Calm, reflective, surgical. Let's begin. Section 1. The Vanishing Men. There's a quiet phenomenon happening, not on social media, but in the private rooms of the mind. People are disappearing, not from life, but from the game of proving worth. They're still there, at work, in relationships, in messages left on read. But inside something has gone still, like a machine finally out of fuel. Attraction, ambition, attention, once endless pursuits, now feel weightless. They didn't lose interest. They lost the illusion that someone else could complete them. It's not depression, it's disillusionment, the slow death of false desire. The disappearance isn't escape, it's the first act of awareness, when the self stops performing for approval. Section 2. The Silent Weight. There's a pressure that doesn't scream, it hums. A quiet insistence that you must earn your right to rest. That love, attention, and even self-respect are prizes given only when you perform perfectly. Most people live inside this trance. They call it ambition, but it's really anxiety in disguise. A lifelong audition for approval that never ends. You can sense it in relationships too. The subtle panic of needing to be interesting, desirable, irreplaceable. That fear bends the spine of modern attraction, turning connection into competition. But something deeper is happening. The body begins to revolt. The nervous system starts whispering, "I'm tired of proving I'm enough." And for the first time, the silence isn't weakness, it's clarity. When you no longer chase what depletes you, the world starts to sound different. You hear the faint pulse of your own mind again. Section 3. The Game That Can't Be Won. The modern world has turned attention into currency, and we are all in debt. Every glance, every like, every fleeting message is part of an invisible marketplace where value equals visibility. You don't need to sell your body to be commodified, only your focus. We've been taught to equate being wanted with being worthy, but that's the oldest trick in behavioral conditioning. When reward becomes unpredictable, a text today, silence tomorrow, the brain floods with dopamine, the same loop that drives addiction. And so we stay. Not because we're fulfilled, but because we're hooked. The intermittent promise of affection keeps us performing even after the stage has emptied. The game doesn't ask you to win. It only asks that you never stop playing. What happens when you stop moving? The noise doesn't collapse. It just reveals how hollow it always was. Section 4. The Inheritance of Silence. From childhood, we learn which emotions buy acceptance and which ones cost it. Boys learn to mute tenderness. Girls learn to shrink their anger into politeness. Everyone learns the same rule. Be what keeps others comfortable. This is the true inheritance, not genes, but emotional choreography. A perfectly rehearsed dance where no one actually touches. And yet, behind every calm smile lies an unspoken exhaustion, the weight of all the things we never said, never showed, never asked for. Psychologists call it adaptive suppression. It's how a child survives disapproval, but how an adult forgets who they are. In silence, the real self doesn't die. It waits, and one day it whispers, not for attention, but for truth. What if being loved has cost me being real? Section 5. The Collapse Point. There comes a moment when the mask starts to slip, not from weakness, but fatigue. You wake up mid-sentence, realizing you're performing lines no one's listening to. Every apology feels rehearsed. Every smile feels heavy. The collapse doesn't look dramatic. It sounds like stillness. It's the day you stop chasing explanations from people who need confusion to feel in control. It's the second you stop asking, "What did I do wrong?" and start asking, "Why was I trying to prove I was right for them?" Nothing explodes. Only the illusion does. Section 6. The Quiet Rebellion. Rebellion doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a quiet refusal to keep explaining, fixing, or performing. The new defiance isn't loud, it's serene. In a world obsessed with proving worth, peace itself becomes radical. It's the art of stepping back without bitterness, of saying, "I no longer trade my energy for the illusion of importance." The quiet rebel doesn't seek to dominate or withdraw. They observe without flinching, without reacting. They understand that control doesn't mean power over others. It means power over one's own attention. True rebellion isn't escape. It's presence without permission. The moment you stop being predictable, the system loses control. Section 7. Pillar 1. Redefine victory. You were taught that victory means acquisition, more affection, more recognition, more proof that you matter. But genuine power begins the moment you stop needing more. Winning doesn't always look like assent. Sometimes it's release. It's saying no to what drains you, even when the world applauds the exhaustion. The mind addicted to accumulation forgets one truth. Contentment is the highest form of rebellion. Every time you choose peace over performance, you're not losing, you're leaving the battlefield. Section 8. Pillar 2. The Sanctuary of Solitude. We fear being alone because solitude strips away the background noise and forces us to meet the person we've been distracting ourselves from. But solitude isn't absence. It's presence, unshared. It's the place where thoughts stop competing for attention and the nervous system finally exhales. Loneliness is a hunger for others. Solitude is nourishment from the self. When you learn to sit quietly with your own energy, you stop mistaking intensity for connection. In the quiet, the false attachments fall away. What remains is peace, and peace doesn't beg. Section 9. Pillar 3. Authenticity over performance. When you've worn too many masks, even truth feels like exposure. But the moment you speak without strategy, without trying to be understood, you begin to exist again. Authenticity isn't confession, it's alignment. It's when your words, actions, and emotions finally stop negotiating. The people who can meet you there will stay. Those who can't fade quietly, as they should. Strength isn't the absence of emotion, it's the ability to feel without losing form. Section 10. The New Masculine Silence. Silence isn't the end of expression, it's its evolution. It's what remains when the noise of proving dissolves, and what rises when desire stops disguising itself as purpose. The new strength isn't louder, it's steadier. It's the quiet gaze that no longer seeks validation, the steady presence that makes manipulation impossible. This is not disappearance, it's return to one's own gravity, to speak only when truth requires it, to act only when peace remains intact. The world doesn't need more voices shouting for attention. It needs more souls who can hold silence without fear. If these words feel familiar, it's because part of you already knows them. That part is the one waking up. Stay with it. Here, understanding replaces blame, and silence, finally, becomes strength.